Good evening, everyone. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Eyes channel. It's just finishing the FA Cup third round. Brentford nil. The mighty Hammers. One-touch Hammers. Pass and move Hammers. The skillful Hammers. The Academy of Football Hammers. The entertaining Hammers. Won. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that match, and you'll be obviously recording it on some kind of format so you can enjoy that match for years to come with your kids, your grandkids, and your missus. And when you've got nothing to do, you'll be watching that. So I don't know what to make out of it, but yeah, Brentford nil, West Ham 1. First of all, it's a win, which is really good away from home, clean sheet. Through to the exciting fourth round. So I'm sure later on today or tomorrow, we'll be concentrating on which clubs are left in the draw, that kind of thing, really. So I think Ginger's going to join me. Ginger, you there, mate?
Can you hear me there? Yeah, mate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. I'll come to you 1 minute. Yeah. So I was just going to say, what a great entertainment, great match, great one-touch football. Academy of Football, superb, mate. Absolutely great entertainment. But the job's done anyway. We're through. Just going to go quickly through the comments and then we'll catch up with you, mate. Let's have a look. Mr. Mace is in the building. Let's have a look. Yeah, Antonio. He did something after 82 minutes, I think, Antonio. That's the only thing I noticed. He tackled back. That was the only thing I saw from him in the whole 90 minutes. I don't know, Ginger, what you thought of the game in terms of quality, entertainment, that kind of thing, mate?
Oh, boring. I thought we were better in the second half, but it's a weakened Brentford team. You can't really take anything from it. Both teams were slightly weakened. We had the stronger sort of team out of the two, I reckon. It was just boring. And Frankie said on the group chat that Moyes tried so hard and losing the game, and then BENRAHMA come on and fucked his plans up and ended up scoring.
Yeah, I mean, when you looked at the team, mate, they were like, it was like kind of a 3-5. I don't know, 2-3-5-1 system or something. But there's a lot of defenders in there, mate. 3 centre backs and then 2 CDMs, 2 fullbacks, aren't there?
It looked like online when you see the lineup, it looked like obviously there was 5 defenders. So defensively it would have been a 5-3-2, but attackingly it'll be a 3-5-2. That's how it looked online. It looked like Antonio and Bowen was up top on his own, up top together. Sorry.
Again, mate. Yeah. But nothing from the wing backs, is there? Nothing from Emerson, nothing from Johnson, nothing, mate.
When Ben Johnson was frustrated, I mean, these lads are already hammers here.
I can hear them.
Effing and blinding. And they were like, Jono, for fuck's sake, give it away again. And it was just like misplaced pass after misplaced pass.
Johnson's got to move, mate. His career's nosedive. He's got to move, I think. Unless the new manager gets something out of him.
That's the thing. Does it take a change of managerial appointment to get the best out of most of these players that we've got? Because BENRAHMA, he doesn't start in the Premier League and he doesn't start in the FA Cup. And he's been not even arguably, he's been our best player all season, which isn't saying much because everyone else has been either at least average or below average shit, basically. And BENRAHMA's been our better player of the season, and he starts on the bench.
I don't trust BENRAHMA, Ginger. I don't trust him gaming week in, week out under Moyes. He just doesn't do it for me. That goal, mate, that went straight at the goalkeeper. How did he not save it? That shot went straight at the goalkeeper. Even the commentator was saying, what's going on here?
Yeah, match fixing at its best, isn't it? I mean, Ivan Toney's already been done for match fixing for Brentford, so maybe they've tried doing another bit of match fixing there. But
yeah,
Brentford didn't want it. They're chasing the European places in the league at the minute. obviously they might not be there or thereabouts towards the end of the league, but at the minute they're up in the European places.
Yeah, you got too much noise in the background, Jen. You're gonna have to go somewhere quiet. I think. Yeah, too much noise.
That's
Yeah.
that's right. So Newcastle's game's on, isn't it? So we've got all the Geordies here. They're loud fuckers, aren't they?
Nah, there's a lady in the back. I can hear her badly.
Oh, mate, that's the landlady, mate. She's fucking East End, and she's the one that I told you about the other day. If you're told to sit somewhere, that's where you sit.
All right, Matt, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. You guys, how you doing?
Yeah, you're right. We just watched a not very exciting game, mate. Matt, quite boring.
That's an understatement.
I know, it was really, really bad, mate. And one shot on goal. The shot was pretty tame, straight. The goalkeeper went in. We go through. Wing backs crap. Agard was good. Rice was good. Antonio, he didn't do nothing in the game apart from tackle. He won a tackle in the 82nd minute, mate. First real positive thing he'd done in the whole game. Bowen again, shadow of himself. Emerson, Johnson, really piss poor. Tuchek running around, nearly got a goal a couple of times. Paqueta, not enough for me from Paqueta again. Not quite enough. Why didn't
Ariola passes from Paqueta?
Why didn't Ariola play? I don't know. Why didn't he play?
It was a weird. Wasn't even on the bench, was he?
Oh, he's injured then. The Randolph's on the bench.
Randolph was on the bench. Yeah.
How can he get injured being on the bench all year? I don't get it.
Training ground injury. Probably stubbed his thumb, didn't he?
Fingers, thumbs, yeah.
Thumbs up and that. Moyes, please play me. Please play me.
Tell the landlady to come on the show. I can hear her. Bloody hell.
Hold up. Let's get her on.
No, I'm joking. Leave it out.
It was piss poor though, to be honest. But we're through. We've been complaining. So.
Yeah, but when you look at the starting lineup, we've got a good few players injured now, and it's too late to change formation for Moyes. For me, again, it's just I don't know. He's got to go at some point, and it's painful. I fell asleep after 10 minutes, and I got up, and then it was just one thing I was surprised about both of you. Lewis Potter was shit, mate. He was poor, and I thought. And he hasn't been given any games all season. I can see why. And, it was a big thing about him, wasn't it, everyone? In the window and that.
Yeah.
I didn't really see much of him, to be fair.
No, I mean, but the thing is, it was just a poor game in general, wasn't it? And in football, when the game's poor, it is difficult to step up your rhythm. You know what I mean? When the opponent's not playing well, it's tough to really, get up for it. They looked... Well, I'm not going to say we didn't look up for it, but like you said, there were a couple of okay individual performances. Like you say, it was nice to see Aware get another good game under his belt. I think that's going to make a big difference, especially with not having Zuma in the team, that he gets in form and stays in form. Rice looked with a good attitude. I mean, unfortunately, I've been saying it for a long time. Ben Johnson is not good enough for the Premier League. I'm really sorry. He comes across as a nice kid. West Ham through and through, and it's a real shame to say that. But we've had a lot of young kids like that, that have come up through the club. When we've looked at Potts kids, in the past, that what was the young striker called? I forgot his name years ago.
Oh, Freddie Sears, is it? Freddie Sears or someone?
Freddie Sears.
Yeah.
So these kind of young players coming through that you want it to happen from, because they're West Ham through and through, but it just doesn't, So you just got to learn when to say thanks and move on. And
I think, man, I think for his benefit of Rescue's career, he's got to go. I think he's got to move or wait for the new manager, see if it makes a difference. I don't know. It
was like with Ngakia, wasn't it, mate? It was like with Ngakia. All of us, but for me, Johnson is on the same level as Ngakia. We were all crying about him leaving, but he's not really done that. That much. He's a solid fullback. He's not terrible, but like we've talked about so many times, Jazz. The fullback position is probably our biggest position to improve if we want to get up into and stay in the upper echelons of what is the league. And realistically, mate, what still continues to worry me is really, I think there's only 2 players right now that are willing to shoot on the team, which is Skamaka and BENRAHMA. You know, I mean, outside of them, it doesn't look like anyone wants to have a shot.
And again, mate, I didn't. Antonio, for me, again, I can't see nothing from him now, mate. It's been a year and a bit.
He's a passenger, mate, and it pains me to say it. And you know, in Spanish, they have an expression which basically translates to saying, "It's better to go out the front door than to be pushed quietly out the back door." You know what I mean? And so I think that's the situation that guys like Antonio, maybe Cresswell as well, find themselves in. You know, maybe at the end of this season, it's the best moment for them to go and go out the front door with a good send off, you know, rather than keep dropping their level and be quietly, you know, shoved out the back door, you know, which is a shame if that happens. So, I mean, yeah, like you've talked about, you said you wanted 4 strikers so many times, you'd be happy with 3. But I mean, I think now we need to take Antonio off that list of strikers and still go out for another 2. But then again, Jazz, the thing is, if Antonio is still around the club, he's still going to get played. So what we do need to do is eventually, you know, get rid of him, unfortunately. As sad as it is to say.
There's not one reason why we're lacking creativity. And even the commentator was saying nothing's fluid in the teams, like they never played with each other before. So it's like we need a couple of wing backs. We need that number 10 creative player, whether that's going to be Paqueta or not, I don't know. BENRAHMA, for me, I would recycle the cash and try it with someone else. Need 2 free strikers. There's a lot of things that need fixing in that team, which is a funny thing to say after all the players that have come in, you know. So let me just go through the comments and we'll go back to Ginger. Antonio was, another poor game. Mate, the sad thing is he looks as though he doesn't give a shit. He looks happy on the pitch. He's got a nice contract. He's I don't think it's hitting him. He's not really, what can I say? He needs a tough manager to sort him out. I think he's just striding through, and he doesn't really show any emotion or care, and he just falls over all the time, a bit clumsy. And none of the 11 players, Matt, look like they've got any plan to play with each other. They don't, nothing practice on the training pitch. I can't see anything, mate. The different thing I saw today, mate, which is what I saw Rice taking corners. It wasn't too bad.
That was an interesting one. I don't know if there's some sort of betting circle going on there that some guys have made a couple of quid off. You know, they're sticking Rice on corners, but it was an unusual. I don't think anyone expected that.
Allegedly, Tony's in trouble, isn't he, for betting? Isn't he? Look at Tony's
big trouble.
Yeah, so
they keep pulling out more charges, don't they?
Okay, so Cosmos Runner, you noticed Sade, is it a new player with pace? Yeah, you need pace in the modern day, and we don't have too many of that, mate. How you doing, Steve? Steve thinks Benny will be dropped next week. No, but Steve, we tried Benny 3-4 games in a row. For me, it's not enough, Benny. I did used to feel like you're saying, like, why don't we? But when we have tried him, he's been not quite there for me, Ginger. I don't know. What do you think, Ginger, about Benny?
Hey, listen, we've tried Suchek for the whole of 2022, and it's not worked. But he still continues to do him. You know what I mean? So he still continues to play him. So he might be on a bad run of form, but he's been arguably our best player for this season, which isn't saying much. But at least he's actually gone out there and tried. He's scored goals. He's tried making things work. All right, 4 out of 5 times he tries to do something, doesn't work. That frustrates fans and people get on his back. But at least he's willing to try something, which is a lot more said than other players in either his attacking areas or going forward in general. We haven't got nothing. Fornals is not getting in the side, so you can't rely on him. Bowen is just non-existent. Lanzini is not playing. BENRAHMA is the next best thing that is literally trying everything. And he's going to try 10 things in a game and lose out on 8 or 9. But that one time he does something and actually gets us something. He might get us a goal and go on to lose a game. But at least he's the one that's trying. And he's been arguably our best player all season, which again I said. isn't saying anything, but at least he's trying. At least he's getting something. And I don't understand why you drop arguably your best player and just don't. I don't know. It's a difficult one because you drop him for the Premier League game, and then you drop him for a starting position in the FA Cup game. Why? If it doesn't work in the Premier League, play him for the FA Cup, give him a chance to prove himself. But we've known for 18 months that Moyes obviously has a disliking to him. He never wanted to start him when we first got him, and he doesn't like starting him and playing him even when he's there available. And he doesn't like dropping his favourites. Why keep playing the same formation, the same system, and the same personnel that isn't working? If you've got a player there that is 9 times out of 10 is going to try something and try and do something positive, but he loses the ball. Listen, us West Ham fans have always said we don't mind losing a game as long as we go and try. Yeah, but it hasn't looked like we've been trying all season. And when we do try and something, he's been the man 9 times out of 10 that have been there in focus. So if he's the one that's doing it, why not give him a run of games? He might be low on confidence, he might be out of form, but at least he's still trying. And just don't drop him. Don't drop him. Not at this moment, anyway.
I think he looks. I think we look clueless at times. I think rather than not playing with confidence, and that tells me that there's been no effort by Moyes to integrate the new signings with the new signings, a new plan, something new they've tried on the pitch, and in terms of motivation, whatever he tells them in the dressing room, I mean, it doesn't really seem to spark anything new. The other thing I heard was that Moyes was thinking of a way of playing Paqueta, Souček and Rice together more. I think, like today. I don't know. He's trying that now, where he didn't used to before.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can understand. Obviously, Souček is probably a more defensive-minded player, or has been he's got more experience, should I say, than the likes of Fornals or Lanzini, because they're not a CM player. They're not a centre mid player. Let's get it right. They're an attacking player. But if you're going to try and switch it up, if Souček's out of form, get rid of him, drop him for a few games, give him something to think about. Put Lanzini or Fornals in the centre with him. Even if he thinks Paqueta, put him in a 3-man midfield with him, but have like a 2 and a 1 in front, and have Paqueta as the 1 in front. So have Rice and Lanzini, or Rice and Fornals, because you know Fornals is going to give you hard work. But then you miss Fornals' hard work on the wing. So it depends what Moyes wants to do. If he wants to play that 5 at the back, you're then gonna miss another wide player anyway, because you've got to drop a wide player to give another wing back. So there's ways of doing it, but it just seems like every way that Moyes does it, he gets it wrong. For me.
Yeah. Welcome, Ryan. How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, not too bad. You have a good Christmas and New Year and stuff? Yeah?
Well, not really. I've had neurovirus for like ages. That's why I haven't been able to come on. I've been really ill.
I think is that strep? Is that what they call strep? Is that what it is?
Nah, it's like a virus where you're like really, really sick. I've had
diarrhea in that.
Yeah.
Comes out both ends, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, that's what I call the Tottenham virus.
Well, I hope you get better, mate. But yeah, a lot of things going on. Yeah, so Ryan, what did you think? Like, Moyes is still here, mate, surprisingly.
Now, watching it was quite hard. When Declan Rice is on set pieces, it is awful. Absolutely awful. We can't cross. So we had I think the first cross I saw, he hit it over. The second one, he hit it under, and then the other one went out for another corner. So I don't get why he's on it. Souček, awful, as per usual. Emerson, he was awful. And then Johnson, I'd rather have a cone at right back. He is absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, he's lost it now, hasn't he, mate? Lost it completely, isn't he? Yeah.
Never had it,
Jazz. Absolutely damned how Johnson plays ahead of Ashby. How does he play ahead of Ashby?
He's fallen out. Ashby's fallen out, and he made something
Yeah.
else going on. Nothing to do with
It's
his.
stupid.
Yeah, but I don't think
But if
Moyes.
you give the youngsters a chance,
Moyes would have.
they
I
might
don't think
roll
Moyes would have got
with.
anything out of him. Yeah, but Moyes, you know what he's like. He's very picky about
And
who
to
he
be honest,
plays and
Ashby's an
buys.
attacking fullback, so Moyes wouldn't have liked that.
It
But
is,
then
mate.
he
It
can also
is.
defend. He's also cautious in defending as well. So he knows what he's doing. He's just inexperienced. But how? It's like when I used to. Us, everyone here has been 16 and trying to get into employment from school at some point. And you try and get your first retail job or first job from school, and they say, "Oh, you need experience. You need experience." How the fuck are you supposed to get experience if no one is willing to give it to you? And that's the same for these youngsters. If Ashby's excuse to not playing him is because he's not experienced, give him experience because he's never going to have experience otherwise.
I think he's not a Moyes type of player. He attacks too much. But Steve, what I'm saying is, I don't trust BENRAHMA. I don't trust any of them, mate. They're all shit. So I'm not saying that someone else is better than him. They're all shit, mate. There's a big issue, mate. I'm telling you. I don't know what's going. We only a change of manager can rescue us now, because naturally, whether right or wrong, it just lifts the players up, mate. You know, I'm not saying it's right, but it just what happens. You get a new manager in, we look a completely different team, mate, and then we go again. But for me, in the really big games, BENRAHMA, for me, not consistent enough. But then games like today, Europa, something else, he looks half all right. Then you play him in the top 6 game or 3 games in a row, then he kind of doesn't quite be like visible in games.
Would be good if we played him behind the striker in like an attacking midfield position, he'd be really good. But obviously we've got no cornet because I don't know, he's the next Andy Carroll and has been out for so long. If we had him out at left wing and we played BENRAHMA behind Skamaka and ahead of like Paqueta and Rice in midfield, I think he'd be a really, really good player.
Matt, what are you eating?
Right now, some beef, mate. Always eating.
He's always eating.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. Carry on, mate.
No, it's just I think he could be a really good player if we played him more centrally than out wide. Because he's definitely a skillful player. He's got an eye for goal as well, as we saw today and we've seen this season. But I just don't get what Moyes doesn't say.
I mean, since we last spoke, Ryan, yeah, like I said, David Moyes is still there. It's gone worse than when we were discussing it before Christmas, mate. And I watched it. I seriously did fall asleep after 7 minutes. I nodded off for a couple of minutes. None of the signings have come in and entertained me or surprised me.
Well, I wanted him out after the Forest game.
Chelsea for me. October, mate. Chelsea for me. I had it.
Mine was what? That was the second game of the season. I knew it wasn't going to. By the end of last year, when we played off that, the form was awful. Absolutely awful.
I'm just looking up today. I thought Agard's every game looks all right. He's getting better.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a game he's played.
Agard's all right. I think by now, we definitely know he's a half decent, okay player. Yeah. He's good. Paqueta, you need more out of him, Ryan. Need more out of Paqueta.
The thing is, he was quite good. Watching him today, he was good. He was arguably one of the best players on the pitch today. Because if he lost the ball, he'd hunt it down and try and win.
He doesn't lose it a lot. I'll give you that. You're right. He doesn't lose it a lot.
But no, when he did lose it, he tried to win it back. And you see Antonio who just half-heartedly walks. And the way that really impressed me by losing it and he wanted to win it. And I thought that was really good. It shows that he does give a crap for the club. So that was really good. That was really good. He had a couple passes that he tried to play for Antonio, but he's not playing with Neymar. He's playing with Antonio, who likes to walk. So he hasn't got much out of there. But his creativity is really good.
But I can tell there's a player in there, Ryan. There's a player in there, mate. That need a good manager to get it out of him and give him a good position he likes. And maybe he could be a number 10 Modric. You know, mate, give him that role. No, don't worry about defending, mate. Which I think all our attacking players, they're held back in chains by the manager, and now he's desperate. He's trying to. He knows his time's up. Now he's telling him to attack a bit. But today it was just like, wow, that was really, really pissed poor. One shot on target, that was the winner, I think. But when you looked at that shot behind the goalkeeper,
The
goalkeeper should have
goalkeeper's
saved
awful.
it. It
How
just
could
went.
he not save? Just
It
watched
wouldn't.
go in.
It would
BENRAHMA
have.
gave him 50 quid before the game.
It's just a bit weird. I don't know what happened with that. Suchek. I mean, yeah,
How could you miss that?
my comments from the first half, mate, are that we've got no strikers. So there, we know because I believe you need 3-4 strikers at the club. Now Scamacca, we again back to Antonio and Bowen again, right? So this is what we get today.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Absolutely nothing up front, no link up pattern. Suchek, I think a good kind of chance. 48 minutes. He just flapped out it, 48
the
minutes.
ball
I think.
came in, and I don't even know what he done. I think he kicked it onto his left foot onto his right foot, and it went past the post. He's just useless.
It is. Matt, when we scored, mate, good tackle by Rice, but I had a feeling the referee might bring it back, but he let it go, didn't he? He's a good tackle, though, I thought. But
yeah, the ref was okay today, mate. I don't think there was anything wrong. I mean, it wasn't much of a game to ref, to be honest. It was pretty basic.
Okay. Areola injured in training, apparently.
But I mean, we can criticise the shot, but like we said earlier, BENRAHMA's one of the few taking shots. So I mean, can you knock him? Not really, mate, because the same with the Scamacca shot, where he picked it up from Aronson's mistake. There's a lot of guys. Bowen seems to be getting away with a lot without getting a lot of flack, which I think he's starting to deserve. I mean, to be honest, mate, for me, Bowen has to be dropped. I can't see how Bowen keeps his place. Because I think there's people that offer more. I mean, why on earth hasn't he thought about starting Fornals in that position on the right-hand side? I mean, I know he loves to fit in Fornals on the left-hand side. Why hasn't he started Fornals there? Give Fornals a chance. Give someone... Now's the moment to give people who look like they're more interested, maybe go up with BENRAHMA and Fornals on the wings. Oh, who knows what could go? Who knows what could happen? But to be honest, I think Bowen is getting a get-out-of-jail-free card right now, which I think is unfair on a lot of others.
But that's a good comment, cause Antonio, it's been a year, mate. I ain't seen nothing, mate. I ain't seen nothing from him. But the thing I don't like is that he don't give a. He's just smiling. He don't give a damn. He doesn't look upset. He's fine with it. Financially reasonably secure now. I think he needs a kick up the backside. Need a new manager in there. It's just weird, mate. I don't get it. Scamacca. Anyone know what's up with him? What's up with him then, Scamacca? He played last game, didn't he?
He's got a muscle strain.
The way we're playing, there's a lot of players not hardly doing 2 games in a row. A lot of them are kind of doing that kind of thing today, aren't they? Then you got teams like Arsenal.
I have a muscle strain.
Yeah.
If I scored a goal like that last week, I'd have a muscle strain and all.
Not happy, are they? Not happy. I mean, Tony, he was injured. He was in the crowd, so he didn't play, mate. But apart from
what happens with Tony, right? Because obviously you've got him being injured now, and then you've got him under investigation for match fixing, allegedly. So does if he gets found guilty of match fixing, which they're adding more and more charges on, obviously his investigation isn't over with at the minute, and he's still injured, will they coerce it together, or will they wait until his injury is done and then ban him?
No, I don't know like that, mate. But
I don't get what's going to happen with that.
I don't know, mate.
Trippier done 1 and got 10 weeks, and he's done what, 242. So realistically, by the math of that, he should not be able to play football for like 12 years.
Something similar happened to one of our old managers, Lou Macari, had to resign. He had some betting issue with him in the owners, so I don't know, mate. Benny
Jazz dumped out of the cup.
Just a quick, my battery's going to die, so I'll have to switch off for now.
No problem. Thanks for joining in
on the next one.
Yeah, take care.
That's right, boys. No worries, yeah. We're unbeaten in 2023, you all right? All right? West Ham are on the up. Come on, you Irons.
Oh, mate. Okay, lads. So, Cornet, hope you're doing well. Cornet, mate, unfortunately, like the bad luck that we've got as a club, some complicated injury that's quite rare. So it looks like, again, like Zuma, he's going to have to be managed very carefully, mate. And it's moments like this I do feel for the owners when these things happen. Imagine Zuma has got that knee issue for life now, and we knew before we bought him, and Sullivan told him, by Milenkovic, but okay, easy saying it now. But Zuma will never be what he was in that first year. It'll be odd game here and there, and then he'll probably need resting again. It's just that kind of injury. He is 28, kind of peaking or gone past the peak. I don't know. Yeah, Cornet, I loved him. I thought Cornet was exciting, trying to make things happen. Was doing well in the conference games with Skamaka. You know, you can play in 2-3 different positions. It's just sod's law, mate. All that money, and there's not been one positive impact on the whole team that I can talk about, you know. It is what it is. So that is a situation with Cornet. We're not going to see too much of him this season, mate.
But then where's Cornet going to play as well?
He played in that, you know, when we played 4-2-3-1, he was on that left side, I think, where Fornells plays, isn't he? He was there.
But the thing is, Moyes likes inverted wingers, because you can see that, but he never wants to drop Bowen as well.
Bowen's on the right, and then Paqueta in the middle, I thought might work, or Benny.
Yeah.
But then Antonio Bowen, you can't play both of them in that. The proper striker up front, Antonio or Bowen have to fight for that position on the right. Fornells and Cornet have to fight for that position on the left. And Cornet can track back. He's good at sticking his foot in. And Paqueta, I don't know, mate. I didn't pay all that money for him. I'm not expert manager. You just got to get more out of him and give him a role, mate. But at the moment, it's just... I mean, come on, Moyes knows it's not good enough watching that, you know. It's just, I don't even listen to any of the press conferences anymore. It's just garbage what they say, even Rice sometimes.
Someone put something, I have to try and find it. Apparently what he said. Now I've got to go look up the chat. Oh, Saeed is a skillful player. Glad he scored. The only thing I need from him is to fix a few of his weak sides to reach our squad level. Then he won't be dropped again.
Does he need to go into that much detail? I don't think he needs to. You know, what the hell are you on about?
He just hates BENRAHMA. I don't get, why does he hate BENRAHMA?
All he had to say was, we won the game, and yeah, I understand we weren't quite on it, and good goal, BENRAHMA. Hope we improve, move on. That's all he have to say. But why does he have to do these cheeky comments where he's having a go?
He just likes to out BENRAHMA. Don't know what he's done.
Well, I think he picked on Vlasic a lot last year. Crowley picked on quite a lot. And then he's got his favourites, hasn't he? He's got Fabianski, Antonio, and Souček, and all them lot.
Because they're nearly as old as him.
I'm really miffed at what's going on. But all the worry is that, okay, it's only 6-7 days have gone, but who are we gonna? Are we linked with any striker? Are we gonna buy any striker?
Apparently, there's been two with Ben Brereton Diaz again, but I doubt they will get rid of him because Blackburn are doing quite good.
I liked him. I saw him in the flesh. I was at that Blackburn game. You were there. I liked him. He's got presence. He's clever. he scored a goal as well. I know Danny Ings, but I think that's just a bullshit connection.
That's awful.
I can't see
Four or 5 years ago, it'd probably been all right, but he gets injured too often. And the other one we've been linked with is that Marcus Thuram. He played for France as well at the World Cup.
I'm getting a bit of stick for having a go at BENRAHMA. What I'm saying is that I don't want to base it upon a few games, cup games here and there, and a few. I want BENRAHMA to be a regular, and then when he has, I know it hasn't happened that often, but when he has had that run in, I just don't think he's been consistent enough. And what the way I wanted to judge him is if we're playing the top six, I want him to have an okay game, and he doesn't. He goes into hiding for me too much in those big games. Matt, am I seeing something else? I don't know. Would you agree, Matt?
Hello, mate. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Do you agree what I said about BENRAHMA? Yeah. Like top six, more consistency. Don't want him seeing quiet in those kind of games. You know, that's what I want. I want a bit more of him.
Well, to be honest, mate, I like to turn up against the top six in general. I think I absolutely hate to watch us play the top six because I think that as the stats don't lie, do they? When it comes to Moyes and his attitude and how we set up against the top six is absolutely diabolical. But I mean, like I said, I think there's a lot more guys that we can jump on than BENRAHMA. I think that Moyes, whether it's personal, whether it's his management style and he thinks that pressuring him is going to bring the best out of him. I just don't know. But the thing is, like we've talked about so many times, it's gotten to the point now where it does look personal, even if it's not, because there's a lot of guys that, I mean, when was the last time he pulled up Bowen? When was the last time that he mentioned, that he's invisible in some games? So it's one of those ones that I just don't understand. And I just want to make a quick mention, Jazz, what you mentioned about Zuma. I think we've got our Ledley King on our hands, to be honest. I think it's going to be the same situation like Spurs had with Leslie King. They pick when he is fit, in fit as he can be. We're going to have to pick and choose the games, manage his training volume to make sure that he doesn't overtrain, and just get the best out of him in the games that we consider the most important. Because to have him as a game in, game out centre-back, like we're hoping that Awed can become, seeing the current performances and what he seems like he can offer to us, I don't think we'll have him like that anymore.
Yeah, and again, trying to give the board some respite is that I do understand in transfer windows, David Moyes is a nightmare to work with. He just brushes aside any little list they give him. Then he doesn't give him, or when he does give him his list, is very, very late. They don't give the board time to get moves in, and then he blames that why did these players come in so late? That's why pre-season was so rubbish. And then obviously with Zuma was at Milenkovic, the medical was about to be done, terms were agreed, he was in London, and then he said, I don't want him now, and then Onana wanted to speak to West Ham, and Moyes goes, if he's not 100% about joining us, I don't want to talk to him. What are you doing? And then that's why I was like, how did Lampard influence look at the 2 seasons we had, and the player joins Everton? I'm like, I was astounded. I'm like, what? And if you can't sell West Ham after 2 seasons and we're in Europe, and look at the situation Everton are in, that you've got to speak to the player and sell the club to him. He's just, some of these things he's doing, it's just mind-boggling for me, really.
The club should sell itself, mate, to be honest. The club should sell itself with history, with what's available, with the previous 2 seasons. The club should sell itself. And what every player, I was watching an interview, I don't remember who the manager was, I think it was Ancelotti, or I don't remember who it was, and they were saying the most essential thing that is needed in a football club when it comes to the relationship between players and managers is honesty. That the manager is honest with the players, that there's congruence between what he's saying and what he's doing. In terms of the manager, if the manager's telling you, hey, give me some consistency and I'll keep you in the team, and then he goes and drops him or whatever, but he needs that honesty. And unfortunately, I don't want to say that David Moyes is a liar, but he just doesn't come across as being particularly honest with the players anymore. That's how it comes across as. And once you've lost that in any team, any leadership position, it's undermined. And like you said, Jazz, people are maybe not going to put in the performances required. Maybe some people are going to have ulterior motives and want to get you out and actually actively participate in actions that will be detrimental towards the club with the idea of getting you out. And it just brings in this toxicity that we just don't need right now. We need everybody in the same boat, everyone paddling in the same direction. And I just want to throw this out here. How different do you think this team would be? We talked about it the other day, Jazz, when Trevor Brooking came in and brought the team together, didn't he? Just for those, 8-10 games that he was in charge. How different do you think it would be if we brought in a guy like Trevor Brooking just for a few games, just to get the team unified and all back on the same page? I think it would make a massive. I mean, like I said, I'm a leader. I'm responsible for a lot of people, and at the end of the day, it is Moyes' responsibility. End of. You can talk about the players, you can talk about everything, but at the end of the day, the buck stops with him. And it's gotten to the point now where we've talked about it, but it is time for a change, because whatever he does is just not going to fix it.
When you get a change, you get so many benefits. What it is, these players, they'll either go one way or the other. At the moment, they're staying there and they're not doing anything. That's really frustrating. But with a new manager, it's a fresh start, and then quickly you're either gonna walk with him or you're gonna leave. But he's not doing anything. He doesn't sell them. He keeps playing them in the same way, same formation for a whole 18 months or so, largely in the league. I know in the cups we've had especially in Europe, good performances, whatever. So that's what you get. I mean, yeah, if Antonio's going to play like this under the new manager, he'll be quickly out. Like a lot of them. Either they're not playing for Moyes, they'll play for the new manager, then they'll stay in. But either way, we'll see changes. That's what we need. Chris, you're right, mate. I forgot. Yeah, BENRAHMA has scored against the top six, so fair enough. Good point there, mate.
Yeah, but then they were.
Or consolation goals or something like that.
Hugely deflected goal against United, a tap-in versus Spurs and a penalty. It's not a goal.
But the thing, I do have to defend BENRAHMA. I've got enough. I'm not saying he's the saviour that we need, but I do think that there is a big bias against him. I mean it. I mean, Bowen has done nothing. I don't know whether it's because he's
fair
English.
enough. Yeah.
I don't know whether it's because of his history, what he's done for the club.
That's the reason.
Yeah, but then he doesn't. The thing is, mate. But then he doesn't, and we don't need more workhorses in the team. We've got Fornals, we've got Suja, we've got Bowen. We need goals. We need goals. I mean, it's embarrassing that we're going through games without shots on target, with two shots. I mean, we're a Premier League club that was fighting for the Champions League, and now we can't even shoot. I mean, if you look at it objectively, or if you brought in some outside analysts to break down what is happening at West Ham, it's an absolute calamity from all aspects of where you look at it from. I mean, our statistics, our numbers. I mean, I would love to bring in some American guys because in the US sports, basketball, NBA, baseball, they love numbers. I would love one of these US analysts to really do a breakdown of everything of how our numbers are dropping, because I honestly believe whatever aspect you take our performances on, I guarantee that it's dropped from the last two seasons, because it just looks worse on every area of the pitch. And that is the thing that is just so worrying. It really is.
I think we used to bully the other team a bit. We used to run at them with force, and we
scared teams, Jazz. No one wanted to be hit with a West Ham counter-attack. Games are won and lost on the transitions. The transition from defense to attack, and the transition from attack to defense. Granted, our transitions from attack to defense have always been iffy. We've always been hit ourselves on the counter. How many goals over history have we been hit on the corners? And then we've had Roger Johnson at the back trying to defend and making a nightmare of it. That's always been our issue. But we used to be threatening on the counter-attack. We used to be a fast-paced, fast-breaking, even guys like when Lingard left, who was key to that aspect, and Fornals came in and did that job, and we were dangerous on the counter-attack. And now we've lost that. Now when we counter-attack, like you said, you mentioned it earlier, Jazz, they don't look like they know who they want to pass to. They don't know who needs to be in what channel when we're making the counter-attacks, whether we need to be at depth, whether we need to open for width. I mean, there's just basic fundamental concepts of football. And like I say, returning to the same point, it's scary because we're a Premier League team and there are championship teams that do better than us in these aspects. Maybe even going down to League One teams, there seem to be maybe teams that are more organised than us. And I mean, I just don't see any other option than getting Moyes out ASAP, because if not, we're going to be sitting here having the same conversations over and over, and it's just pisses me off.
Well, do you think Moyes will? Some people think Moyes will stay. I mean,
he's 100% going to stay. He'll stay.
End of the season, end of the season.
There's too much credit in the bank. That's how the board are thinking. He's gave us a good 2 seasons. We've got to give him till the end of the season, and if it's not good, then we'll sack him. That's how they'll think.
But isn't it too close to the bottom up? Isn't it too close for comfort, though, you think?
Yeah, but they don't care. As long as they do stay afloat, they don't care.
Yeah.
But do you see any obvious managers that you would want now? I mean, we left it a bit late, haven't we, Ryan, a little bit?
Well, I said what? So I said I can't remember. It's got to be like after the Brighton game. I wanted Marco Silva from Fulham. I know we lost to Fulham. Yeah. I like Marco Silva. Yeah. He's getting that Fulham side. Who have they got in that team, really, other than Mitrovic? And look how they're doing. They play as a team. They look like a team. And he's got them all together. I like Marco Silva. I think he's a good manager. And then there's that one from Sporting Lisbon.
Sporting Lisbon's one, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously, I think a big club will probably come for him. I mean, the dream is obviously Pochettino or Tuchel, but if we can't sell the club to Onana, we're not going to sell the club to Pochettino and Tuchel.
And rumours are that Leeds are looking at Pochettino as well, trying to sell an option there. Let's see if that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if we've got the ability to get Poch and Tuchel and those kind of people in, and then there's a risk the later you leave it. I mean, the managers, what can they do with a couple of months and none of the windows in January, which has already started, you know?
I still throw my hat in the ring for Marcelino. Like I said, my doubt is over his English. No idea whether he speaks English or not, but he's a solid manager. He's a guy that has been proven. What we need right now, and I'm not saying we need a Bielsa, because I'm a huge Bielsa fan, not because of what he offers as a manager, but for his philosophy. But what we need is a Bielsa-style manager in that someone that can come. When Bielsa took over Leeds in the Championship, in the first game, the philosophy and the style of play was clear. The Leeds fans turned around and said, who the hell is this team? Who the hell is these players? He brought back guys that were almost on the way out, like Klitsch and like Calvin Phillips. We need a manager, that is able to come in and have an immediate impact. And I'm not talking about someone that we just want for the short term, but somebody that's able to win over the players and convince them of their philosophy, their style of play, how they want to move the club forward immediately, to change the way that we're playing, you know. And a lot of managers, come in and they play it with the slow game, you know, and that's okay. But we don't have time for that right now. We do. For me, I mean, whoever we bring in, like Ryan says, I don't think it will be until the end of the season. But whoever comes in the end of the season, they need that immediate impact, because we know that they're going to have to work with the players that we've got. Because we know that after what we spent this summer and it's not worked, I really don't think they're going to back a new manager with big money, because I don't think there's going to be big money around unless somebody new comes in and takes over the club. But I think it's the time is too short for that to happen. So they need to start thinking about options, and they need to give the guy who they want to bring in the idea that he needs to come in so he can start working out how he wants to play with 90% of the playing staff that we have right now.
That should have happened before the World Cup, Ryan, isn't it?
Yeah, it should have happened in December. But the thing is that I'm more concerned about now, as an actual club with money, is in a business side of this. Our next two games, we've got to win them. And if we don't win them, Moyes should be gone. But what is going to happen with if we back him again in this January transfer window? We've already backed him with 180 million. If we back him again with more money and it goes wrong, what's going to happen after these two games? Because I personally think that we should give him these two games and then get someone buy someone later on in the window. I mean, people could go, but if we get a new manager, then you might not even want them. So I'm more concerned about what we're going to do financially wise with Moyes, because I don't want him to buy any more players, because he's wasted 180 million.
There's all these stories about them selling the club later on this year. Their focus has gone there. David Gold's passed away, that kind of thing. Emerson. I didn't. Did Emerson have a good game? I can't remember anything. Emerson, was he good?
I think I've got some bias against him, because I didn't like the appointment of a fourth choice left back. But I agree. Yep. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. If he was good, he wouldn't be a fourth choice left back, and he'd be playing week in, week out. I mean, he was at Olympique Lyon for a little bit. We played against them and they got smashed. So I didn't see anything of him there that would have thought, I think West Ham should sign him next season. I thought he was rubbish. No. Couldn't handle Bowen. But he can cross. I'll give him that. He can cross, but defensively, he's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Tony, I think the issue with Noble is I don't think he can come in. He hasn't got the badges. He can't. He hasn't got no. So you can't. And I know a few people keep bringing it up, but yeah.
I think you're right, Ryan. I think the thing is, like me and Jazz have talked about a couple of times, but Jazz, the need for those big money fullbacks in the more modern game. You know, we've gone for the cheap We've now gone for a couple of mid-range,
Yeah.
lower mid-range fullbacks. We just need to throw money out there.
Yeah, we
Throw
need to buy
money.
some fullbacks, some actual
Yeah,
fullbacks.
and top of the line fullbacks.
One that I think would be a good signing would be Kieran Tierney at Arsenal. I mean,
100%. Yep.
Zinchenko, he's obviously over him. Tierney's a great defender, great going forward, perfect left back. And at right back, I mean, there's some options that we could get. Obviously, the perfect one would be that right back, like Pedro Porro from Sporting Lisbon, because he's absolutely quality. But obviously, we're looking about 40, 50 million for him. I doubt we'd probably pay that. But we do need fullbacks.
I think Tierney gets injured a lot. That's the only thing I can remember about him, Tierney.
Yeah. But he has been fit this season, but Zinchenko has played over him.
Yeah, he's a very, very aggressive Tierney. I like that. He certainly gives it 100%. Your Moroccan defender did okay, mate. Yeah, Haggard's all right. He's coming along all right.
I like Haggard.
Yeah, he's all right, mate. There you go. Matt's got good knowledge. There we go, Matt.
Like I say, a broken clock is at least twice right twice a day.
Our next game, everyone, is Wolverhampton Wanderers away on the 14th. There's so many games. We've had a game every 2-3 days, haven't we? You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So this is a 1 week's break. But you say that 14th of Jan, everyone. That's the middle of the transfer window next week. You know. Yep. So I don't know if we're that clever.
I don't really care about the transfer. I'm not going to lie. I just don't think we're going to do anything. I just really just.
Yeah, I know. There's not much being linked either, really. Yeah. That Brazilian.
That is the problem. That is the problem with the Moyes' next 2 games. If he doesn't win them, then he's going to be gone. So they've wasted money. So it's going to be late. If we get anything, it will be late.
I think. I forgot what I was going to say now. I got put off by that comment. I don't know. What I was going to say about the window. Noble does he have his badges? Oh,
but I didn't think he got his. You need your A license. I don't know. Now you need your A license.
I thought he had like a UEFA B, which isn't.
Yeah, so that's what. That's what I've got. I've got UEFA B.
Yeah, he had to like under 23s, but he can't.
I've got UEFA B, so I definitely can't coach. I definitely can't coach in the Premier League. Or can't manage the Premier League. But I knew that he started them, but I didn't think he. Sometimes from being a player, they give him special disposition, don't they? They give him that, like a slight, maybe 6 months or whatever that they can coach or manage the team, whilst they do them later. But I definitely would. I wouldn't bring Noble in, and I don't think he'd want it either.
If the new manager comes in and they waste the next 2 games, then he's going to come in for Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Tottenham away. That's not fair on a new manager if someone does come in.
But Jazz, I think there's more likelihood of me seeing snow here in Mexico, mate, right now. I mean, new manager, I just don't see it, mate. I just really don't see it. I think Noble has been brought in to try and steady the ship as like an appeasement to the situation. I just don't think that they're going to get out there and change Moyes.
No,
I think it has to happen. I think Moyes has to go.
But me too.
I think he's got to go.
The last time we backed the manager that we had, we went down with Avram Grant. All the times that we've changed it, we've stayed up.
Yeah. And we're not the only ones. That so historically,
it wouldn't surprise me if we did go down. Really, I would not surprise me with the football we're playing. We are playing like a championship. Well, we're not even playing like a championship side because Burnley are probably better than us right now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And he has tried 1 or 2 different. Like today's 3 at the back, but then chemistry's still the same between the players. There's not really much going on. They're not. I mean, when we played Arsenal, Matt, God, you could see, isn't it, the other standards? They were zipping it around like anyone's business, weren't they?
Yeah. But the thing is now, Jazz, is that formations. I mean, okay, we can talk about formations, for example, yeah. But formations are not only, let's say, okay, right, I'm going to play 3 at the back, right, I'm going to play 4 at the back. No. Formations now, the tactical game of football has advanced so much that the formations, a team is now like an ecosystem because it's in constant evolution. You can set yourself up with a 4-2-3-1, but whilst you're attacking, you can be in a 3-4-3 formation. You know what I mean? There's such fluidity in the game now. The rigidity of having, this is our tactical formation. I think that's just what is shackling us at the moment. We don't look fluid enough compared to other teams, you know? And what's happened with this tactical rigidity, Moyes, players like Benrahma, have coached the creativity out of him. Because how many times have we heard Moyes criticising him for losing the ball? Okay, it's inevitable for a person that's in a creative attacking midfielding position. The same is going to happen with Paqueta. We're going to lose the creativity because of the rigidity that Moyes, and this is why Moyes loves players like Bowen, players like Antonio, players of that Creswell, players of that ilk, because they are tactically rigid, follow instructions, not so creative, but get on with the job. You know, and that's where we've tried to blend this kind of Moyes player with other kinds of players that we think will be the best for the future, like buying in Benrahma, like buying in Paqueta, buying in other players. And that mix with the tactics that Moyes employs hasn't given us fruits, because it's like mixing oil with water. It's just not going to mix. So I think that here the issue is, and like someone put in the comments, I'm not a big fan of Emerson. Lawrence. Lawrence ahead of Cresswell, because at the moment he's going to offer more what Cresswell's offering. And all of these Moyes players, if it was up to me, I would drop Cresswell, Souček, Bowen and Antonio and leave them at home. I'm not saying it would work, but at least it would show that he's willing to go for something really different. But, well, that's my point.
Ryan, the two names above your head, mate. Zaha, Firmino.
Zaha and Firmino. I don't know. Depends who we've got in charge, really, with both of them. If we've got Moyes in charge, then they're going to do nothing.
No, imagine, no, not with Moyes in charge. No,
not with Moyes.
No.
Well, I'd definitely take Zaha.
They're available, mate. They're available. If someone wants them.
I'd take Zaha, but Firmino, I don't know if he's been good this season. I would take Firmino as well. I was going to say he might be a little bit past it, but with our current need for attackers, I'd probably take both.
Yeah, no doubt. Firmino's hardworking. He'll do much more than Antonio does on the pitch.
He'll press as well. But I was going to say something to you, Matt, with the tactical thing. With Moyes against Brentford when we lost, is that Moyes always likes to match what they're doing. So if they were playing a 3, he played a 3. It's never Moyes plays a 4-2-3-1. You know what? Actually, Thomas Frank's going to have to change his tactics. He's coming to the London Stadium. You're going to have to change your tactics. No, we change before the game and let them have all control of the game. And it's just that's not what a manager at home does at all.
Well, you look at people like Conte and Arteta. They'll change it 3 times in a game. Tactics and substitution. You're allowed up to five subs, if not any more, and then it just doesn't do anything. It's not really exciting. I remember it was that game, Ryan, Tottenham were losing 2-0 and they won 3-2. You took off 3 people after 29 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Switched it all around. You know, that's what I like to see.
The best tactical manager right now, and I watch a lot of Championship, is Company. The way he has that team playing, he has, I don't know, they go into like a back 3. The right back tucks into a centre back, and you have the left back pushing up as like a left mid. You have the left wing that comes in centrally. It just watching them play football is amazing. They are so good. Like tactically set up. However he's done that, he has like Brownhill, one of the centre mids, pressing with the striker. It's just they are a really good team to watch. And it wouldn't surprise me if Vincent Kompany doesn't stay with Burnley and goes to a big club next year.
Paqueta doesn't seem to be David Moyes' type of player. Like, why? No. I mean, I don't know who's brought him in, but it's just it is weird, isn't it? What's going on?
Sorry, Jazz, you could give Moyes at his best, and he would ruin him. You know, you could give that kind of wonderful creative. You could give him an Isco. You know, one of those guys that every team wishes that they had, you know, when they were at their best. And it just wouldn't be a Moyes type of player, you know? And Jazz, at the end of the day, when you work in any job or in football, you have your limits. And one of the hardest things for any human to do is accept the fact that we all have limits. Maybe Moyes, and I think it could be quite likely that Moyes fits into the club of managers that has a limit of how he can get his teams working, what type of players he can manage, because you see some guys and they're just natural. You know, look at a guy like Carlo Ancelotti. Not a beautiful player. I don't know if you remember when he played in Milan. Absolute wonder, a real Rolls Royce of a player. Never really come across as a tactical genius as such, but the guy can manage people. The guy motivates. The guy just wherever he goes has the Midas touch. And I know I'm using just one example here, but there's so many different types of examples. So Alex Ferguson, you would never see him on the training ground, would never step on the training ground.
Yeah.
That's why he had geniuses like Carlos Queiroz, René Mullenstein, all of these guys that came out of, you know, his training group. But Moyes, I think, is just one of these managers that is great at putting out fires, great at coming in, stabilizing teams, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you get to the stage where you want to progress on, that's where his limit is. And it's not only us, Jazz. He was found out at the same at Everton.
I think he's the right choice to come in where he's good at working with small players, motivation, create team spirit, get a bit of solid foundation, get them a bit more fit like an army. After that, when you need more creativity and off-the-cuff football like West, he can't do it. And then I think going back to your point, yeah, people like Martin O'Neill, Harry Redknapp, they were that type of manager that would get more out of you. And they were never there Monday to Thursday. They were never there at the training ground. Their role was to buy the right players, put their arm around them, go into the dressing room on a Saturday and lift them, and that's it. You know, that's what their role is. And I think it's all about that message being repeated. And he's there every day, and he doing, like you said, puts the cones out, does the training. He doesn't buy anyone. It's just this new manager comes in, new voice, fresh, new backroom team, and they'll be okay. It's just sad that I don't know if Rice is going to go in the summer. That last season with West Ham, ain't going to be all that enjoyable for him.
To be honest, though, I'm not that sad with him going at the moment. I'm not. We've got him talking about the Champions League and that he wants to go win these trophies. Like, why is our captain? Noble wouldn't have done. Obviously, Noble's different, but no captain of a club should be talking that they don't really want to be at the club anymore. I know as a West Ham fan, he is too good for us, but he doesn't need to say it and make everyone talk about it. And you can see by him on the pitch that he's not a captain. He's not a captain at the moment. He is not a captain. We should have gave it to someone else. And also with the fact, why have we gave him captaincy when
we haven't got any leaders, Ryan? We've got no leaders in the whole squad, mate. We've got no one who can come in and do that job. We've got no one.
The only reason we gave it to him is we thought that he'd stay with that. That is the reason. But we could have gave it to. I'd even give it to Ogbonna.
I was about to say, if it hadn't have been for his injury, I think Ogbonna would have taken it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's respected and he's a good professional. Ultra, when I looked at Paqueta at Lyon, mate, they play a 4-3-3 a lot of the time, or 4-5 across the middle. So I think, again, he likes to play with a lot of players around him. Him and Rice together in the middle, I'm not sure if that will work. I don't know.
The thing about Paqueta's work rate is brilliant. I mean, for a creative player, Paqueta's work rate is fantastic. The way that he presses, I definitely think a 4-3-3 would suit him better. You know, Rice in the central position of the middle three and Paqueta on the right hand side of the middle three. I don't think we've got much to lose. But then again, the situation is if we were to play a 4-3-3, you just know up front he'd get it wrong. That's the issue. You
Puts
know
Antonio up
that
top.
it would be Antonio with Bowen and But I mean, if you put Scamacca with BENRAHMA and I don't know, God knows for now. I don't know what you could do a lot of things, but you just know that Antonio will be there. You know that Bowen will be there, and so BENRAHMA might be up there too, and BENRAHMA would get the flack because he's the scapegoat of the team right now. And so, I mean, you just know he would get the 4-3-3 wrong. So I mean, what's the point of even
We
getting?
have played a 4-3-3 this season, but we played it with three CDMs of Soucek, Downs, and Rice.
Exactly.
We used it in the Europa last year, and it was all right in the group stages. I think it kind of would
I
suit
think we used that 4-3-3 against Bournemouth as well at home.
Matt, does the Paqueta do enough in the final third for you? Getting the box enough for you, mate, at the moment?
Not really. But the thing is that for me, I wouldn't be asking him to do that. He's the kind of guy that I would want him to get on the ball in the middle of the park and move it around. You know, give us a little bit more fluidity, give us a bit more calm on the ball. And because the thing is, you guys know it, but we can't hold on to the ball anymore. We can't retain possession anymore. We end up panicking, losing, and it's just a real shame. I mean, I wouldn't want Paqueta too much. I would say Paqueta, first things first. You know, let's get down. If I was to take over the team, I would give every player 1 or 2 priorities to focus on. You know, not anything else. Just say, this is what I want from you. 1 or 2 key things. Just focus on that. And what I would say to Paqueta is, I want you to press, because I like his energy. I want you to pressure the other player. And when you get the ball, get some calm on the ball, move the ball around intelligently, and let's build up from the middle third, you know? And that's what I'd want from Paqueta. Then when we get the basics done, when we start to look good, then I would say to him, okay, then we can look at getting you forward. But first things first, we've got to get that possession. And we, like you said, we've got to get that intelligence back into the football that we just lost over the last 6-7 months.
But what about if I switch it around, Ryan? I find that we don't pass to him enough either. We don't find him enough.
No, I don't think we do. The thing, what I think would be best, I mean, you two might not agree with it, but is playing a 4-2-3-1, but playing Rice as one of the CDMs and Paqueta as like a secondary CDM as a box to box.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
Because Rice is as good as 2 CDMs, realistically. He can do the job for both. So you could have Paqueta pushing forward, but getting in the box, coming back. But he'd be like Man United at the moment with Eriksen and Casemiro. You've got Casemiro that breaks up play. He gives the ball to Eriksen and he sprays balls across the park.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that, yeah.
Paqueta can do that. He's technically
I agree, 100%.
He's quality, absolutely quality. And you know that he can have the ball. He can beat a man. He can get forward. And then if we played BENRAHMA just ahead of him, the interplay between them behind Scamacca would be amazing.
It's just a message from Moyes. It'll be like they'll be scared to play a bit of flair football that we like. Don't do that. Keep it safe. That's why Paqueta, like you said, it's like he's held back a bit. He just doesn't. He's capable of more, but he's kind of held back a little bit. He doesn't do enough. And being Brazilian, I'm sure he can take the odd free kick. He's got to have something in him, that kind of thing, you know, more set
but we
pieces.
Saw how good he was for Brazil. He was so good for Brazil. He played next to Casemiro in the midfield, and he was brilliant for them. But obviously, it's a bit different. He was allowed to play football. He bounced off Neymar. They played in the middle of the park. They bounced off each other. They gave the ball. They scored goals. But he can't do that because one, he's playing so high up the pitch behind Scamacca. That's not his main role. He didn't play that for Leon.
No.
He's not a behind a striker, like a centre forward and attacking midfielder. He's more of a centre mid that can play football. When the ball's at his feet, he's absolutely quality, and obviously he's really good at pressing as well. But if we had him in the middle like it was for Brazil, I think he'd be a different type of player, and he'd be really good.
And I think the squad, I think it's a really, really good squad that a new manager can do lots with. You know, anyone coming in will say, God, I've got a lot there. I've got Scamacca, I've got Zuma, Agard, I've got Rice, I've got, you know, Areola on the bench. There's a lot of good. Obviously, there is 7 or 8 that will be moving on in the summer that, unfortunately, David Moyes is not addressed in the previous window. So there's going to be a lot of work for the new manager in the summer, like this summer gone. The other thing I've noticed, looking at Richard's comments there, mate, is that we don't seem to defend when we put 8 people behind the ball. We look like we're defending, we're good, and all that kind of thing. But we're really not, because the shots are still going in. But when we attack, we don't attack as a team, and that's why the counter attack is just not happening. It's slow. You get one person who looks up, Antonio's never in free spaces. He's never available.
Oh, he is useless.
He stands next to two defenders. How are you going to pass to a guy who doesn't gamble and move into empty spaces? He just stands there like a lump, and then when you do find him, he suddenly slides and trips over, falls on the floor. All that kind of thing. So, Richard, yeah, it looks like Moyes wants to play the counter-attacking football sometimes, but we don't attack together. We don't have the numbers up front, and we lose it. And that's why you see sideways, backwards, and we don't have the width or the stamina or strength or pace at wing-back, full-back, winger area, you know. And what do you think the issue, Matt, is with the Bowen, mate? I mean, I know I haven't singled him out in too many of my videos, but what's going on with him then? You think he's just coasting through games, is he?
Yeah, could be anything, mate. I mean, it's one of those ones that is very strange. I mean, historically, it has happened with a lot of players, not only at West Ham but at other teams, where you start to play well, you start getting linked with a big move to maybe a Liverpool, maybe a Man United, etc. Numbers start getting thrown around of 30, 40, 50 million. And then inevitably, if you're British, or English, sorry, you get pulled up, looked around for the international team. And then it just seems to be unsustainable. You know, the level of performance seems to become unsustainable. Things drop off. And then it just becomes a vicious cycle, doesn't it? Of subpar performances, drop in the head, you know, not maybe some sort of self-esteem issues there. And it just seems to become a negative, you know, they seem to, the thing with Bowen, I don't know if you guys see it, he seems more desperate on the field these days, you know, like whenever he gets the ball, he looks desperate with it, you know, and sometimes you get a knock that can take, you know, just break up that rhythm as well, which often helps, you know. Someone should put that up. And I think that it has got to the point of guys like I think Antonio and maybe Souček and Bowen, that they've got this untouchable position. And you know, as any player, if you've not got pressure on your position, it's very difficult to motivate yourself. Even though you want to motivate yourself, let's get out there. But it is still different that if you know that someone is on the doorstep waiting just for that 1 second that somebody is going to take your position, if you don't play out of your skin, that pressure is essential at Premier League football. And like you said many times, Jazz, at this level, you need 2 quality players in each position to make a team work.
And that's why City's so good as well.
And
so many players.
Yeah,
and Moyes has had time. He's had 6-7 transfer windows, and I think more than half of them he's either not bought anyone or one's trickled in at the end. So again, and then he bought, like I keep saying, it's his own fault. He bought too many in one window because he didn't buy any before. And then he's obviously complaining about a few things. But you're right, you need competition, you need different formations, you need motivation and good attacking football. You need to press a lot more. And there's a lot of players like Kwesi, Lanzini, Antonio, they're finished, mate. They haven't got nothing in them to play the pressing game, I don't
Antonio
think.
just walks. He just walks.
Yeah.
He just takes his paycheck.
Physically shot.
He's just not good enough.
The other thing that concerns me, and I include Bowen in that largely, is the finishing is poor. These people cannot finish, you know, Bowen especially.
Bowen's finishing has never been good. Really. And he can't hit it with his left foot. The thing is that Bowen, if I defended against Bowen, I mean, he can't cut in onto his left foot, which is something that is very important for the Premier League. Okay, he might have scored a couple of goals there, but he doesn't have that ability. And you do really want those two-footed players on, especially in those critical positions, especially talking about the Premier League, especially as look at how every year and every generation of players that comes through, they are technically so much better. You know what I mean? So much better. And if you're looking at the guys that are coming out, getting their debuts at 16 and 17 years old, look at the new generation of Spanish kids coming out. And the guys coming out of La Masia in Spain right now. I mean, all of these young French kids coming out. The technical level of football right now is so high. And that's where if you look at these guys like Antonio, where they have this physical aspect, they're they're the last of his generation. You know what I mean? Because it's happened in many sports as well. I give a comparison in basketball. Antonio is like Shaquille O'Neal, who was so effective in his moment, insane. But now basketball is all about people shooting 3 points. Everybody's shooting 3 points these days. And that's why, because it's become more technical, people have become more skillful. And that's what's happened with football. Antonio's position of a bruiser, direct striker still works. But the game is changing so much, and it keeps changing, that we need to keep up with this changing. We need to. That's why we're so obsessive with us as fans and saying we want guys like Scamacca, we want guys like Paqueta to come in, because we need these technically skillful players to come in to keep up with the standard of the Premier League.
Yeah, Lawrence, you're right. Scamacca can certainly finish, but we're not quite involving him enough either, and his confidence is going a bit, and sometimes he doesn't look well either when he's having to play through illness. So that's kind of happening, mate. I think Antonio's motivation in the game has gone, mate. I think personally, I don't know how old he is. 31, is he 32? I don't know, but I think he's just coasting along for me, and the right manager will sort that out.
We have Wolves next week, don't we?
Wolves away, and then a week after that,
I think
Everton
right
at
now,
home.
They're beating Liverpool at Anfield, so they're not going to be an easy game, Wolves, at all.
There's no easy games, but
Liverpool a real game at Anfield. They will hammer us next week.
Liverpool are struggling, mate. Liverpool are struggling. They've got points.
Found out, mate.
But then Wolves are very good. Under whatever, I can't even pronounce his name, but they've been quite good. They gave United a game as well, and they're on fire. United.
Yeah, I mean, I used to love the Matinho, Nevers, and the middle Wolves. I used to love them too. You know, really, really good.
That was a good generation.
Oh, mate, they were good. I think one of them.
I do think we're going to get slaughtered by Wolves next week, because down the left they're going to have Podence against Carrera or Kufal. And I don't want to watch that.
No game is easy, but what we would certainly say to everyone today is a good win. Let's get to the next round, but certainly don't judge the performance today. Today in the league is different, and we played Brentford in the league, which mattered more in terms of really judging where teams are. We got brushed aside, so don't look at it today. You know,
this wouldn't have affected his job really. If we lost, maybe, but I don't think it would really affect his job. If winning didn't affect his job and losing wouldn't have affected his job. It's the league that really matters. But I don't see him ever being sacked at all this season.
Ultra, you're right. We've been on about Antonio for a long time, mate. You gotta prejudge these things. But what happened with Moyes is he suddenly, I'm not saying by accident or fluke, but he came across this formation. Bowen came in, Souček came in, Kufal came in, and he just sat on his laurels, got overconfident, overcocky, didn't listen to no one, and the board said, I think we're onto something good, David. Let's buy more. No, I don't want anything. I'm happy with what I've got. That is what has happened and where we've ended up with now. If you don't add at the right time, in history tells you this, you never quite recapture that form, that motivation again. And in between, I don't know if Bowen was tapped up last year. I don't know. Arsenal are coming in strong for Rice, we've been told at the moment, and other things like that. Newcastle. So all that advantage we had over the top six in lockdown, like we were way ahead of Arsenal, Spurs, Newcastle were not even in the frame. Those teams are all ahead of us now. Unai Emery with Villa, they're going to be kind of on par with us, or maybe a little bit of ahead. Everton, I know they're not good at the moment, but they got a lot of money. They spent a lot of money, Everton, you know, and they've got more coming in new ground. They'll pick themselves up again, and Tottenham, they'll always be there or there. So we are nicely bottom 10, I think, for the foreseeable future, unless something changes, I think.
I don't know about Everton, though. I think Everton will probably go down this season.
It could be, but it could be.
Every Everton fan wants their board out, and apparently Lampard's been given another 5 games. So I don't know about.
I still think we'll get 14th or 15th. I still think we'll get 14th or 15th. I do actually. I don't like playing Wolves. I think we always struggle against Wolves. I think Wolves
It's
is
away
an
as
awkward-
well.
Where do you see the
Yeah.
points coming from, Matt? Like, if I say Wolves away, Everton, Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, I mean...
No, I genuinely think, I do really think, and I might sound stupid or naive or whatever, but I really do think there's something in the water, and I think we'll get a result against Wolves. I really do. I don't think we will saying we deserve it. I don't think we're playing. It's because we're playing well, but I just have this weird, strange feeling that something will come out of the bag against Wolves. And I'm not saying it will turn around or stop the rot, but I just feel like Wolves will get something. I feel for some strange reason more confident to get something out of Wolves than Everton, because knowing us, Everton will turn around, because you know the classic West Ham will go up against a team that haven't won in 8, and what will happen every single time? Points against
Probably
West
lose.
Ham.
We can't,
Exactly.
we can't finish though. I mean, even the goal today, that was a bit weird, and it's penalty after penalty. The game that traditionally and the way they're playing, we might be something that's home to Chelsea. Chelsea a little bit up and down. I don't know if we might get something. So that's the thing, Matt. Even if we have a good game, we're not going to put the chances away. That's the thing, you know. So that's the thing that worries me. You really need to put the chances away.
We're not even the thing that we've talked about, and I think every West Ham channel has talked about, to be honest, or every West Ham fan has talked about, is the scary and sad thing that we're not even dangerous from set pieces anymore, which has massively affected our goal scoring ability. Because even I think the sad thing about maybe last season was our set piece efficiency in terms of getting goals and being dangerous kind of papered over the cracks. Because if you look back, and I went back a while ago and looked over last season and kind of watched some of the games and highlights, if you take away some of the set pieces from last year, you could kind of see the cracks really starting to show last year. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of gave us a lot of false hope last year, that the set pieces. And now that we've lost all of the set piece dangerous aspect that we were so well known and often feared by teams for, yeah, I do agree with you, Jess. I think we're really in trouble. But I don't know. Maybe saying that now we'll score a corner, a Declan Rice corner onto the head of someone.
No,
Declan
no.
No,
he
maybe
cannot cross. His deliveries are worse than DPD. They are awful.
We still got to be honest. Today was pretty dour, though, wasn't it? One shot on goal, and it was pretty.
No, it was not, like they say, classic. It was not a game for the neutral today.
It certainly wasn't. I mean, I hate to talk about man of the matches, like, and I'm not going to talk about it. Forget it. I'm not going to even ask you for man of the match. No, I haven't done that in a long time.
You know what? Jazz. I think I personally would give it to Awed. I think that he's doing very well. I think in a team in a sinking ship with a lot of holes in the bottom of the boat, I think he's doing his best to put both hands and both feet out, stretch himself out, twister style, to try and cover the holes, you know, to stop the ship sinking. So I do definitely think that for me, Awed is someone that I would give the man of the match today to.
Yeah, I mean, Hammer Time, Damari Gray. I think he's one of their best players, so I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think they like him up there. It didn't cost anything, I don't think, or hardly anything. So he's doing
500,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go through the comments and we'll close the show off. Wing back system. I can't even call it wing backs. Not really. I don't know what they are. I mean, wing backs instantly I think of dynamic players. You know,
West Ham have never played with wing backs.
We've never had wing backs. We don't. I mean, the only time was when Bilic tried to play Antonio at right wing back, and that was just an absolute shit show.
The only one was Matt, and you like, it's Trevor Sinclair, wasn't it? It was Trevor Sinclair.
A long time ago, yeah. But Trevor Sinclair was another level, mate. I mean, Trevor Sinclair, what a player! What a player!
I'm sorry about that, Jerry. I'm just like, I'm not going to get happy till we get a new manager. Nothing personal against David. I am not enjoying my football, mate, at the moment.
I saw a comment that made me quite scared for next week. Creswell up against Traore.
I've seen that before. I've seen that. This was 3-4 years. The Pellegrini season, we lost 1-0. 90th minute, Traore scored. He came on as a sub. He killed Cressy. And the other embarrassing one was Sant Maxime, that whatever his name's against Zabaleta, I think. That was bad. But then we saw Cressy get done recently, didn't we? Arsenal, was it?
by
Brentford as well.
De Silva, he's going to get absolutely torn apart by Traore.
Well, one of the set pieces, obviously, Souček was in the end of a lot of them, and Dawson and people like that, and Zuma.
Yeah.
That's all dried up. Yeah, it's all dried up. It's really odd, isn't it, what's happened? Okay, he kept it tight. Are you Moyes? Kept it tight, mate. Bloody hell, mate. No. Mate, is what it is. Thank you. Take care. But yeah, the summary. Yeah, Matt, just take it away. Whatever your feelings are. Transfer market, David Moyes. I don't know.
Like I say, mate. At the end of the day, mate. I mean, right now we're looking at the goal, the objective. The objective is to ensure that we stay in the Premier League. I mean, I know the Brentford game is a cup game, but at least we won it, because I think that if we'd have lost this, I think it would have made a bit of a difference for the attitude of the squad coming up to the Wolves game. Hopefully, just picking up these wins and not even taking solace from good performances, because realistically, even though we've picked up a couple of points, like we picked up at Leeds, and we didn't pick up technically points today, but we've got a result. But the performances aren't there. And if the performances aren't there, we're sooner rather than later that we're going to get caught out, because what we need to do it. But at least, that we're moving in the right direction. Have we stopped the rot? No, I don't think we've got that far yet. I don't think we can say we've stopped the rot, but at least it looks like we're like a cargo ship. Slowly, maybe we're making a slight change in direction, but it's too early to tell for me. But all we can do is just say, we won today, realistically it's a good result for us. It's a positive result for the team, and we can just hope that they just keep building on it, because that Wolves game and that Everton game, I mean, you can talk about the Chelsea and the Spurs, whatever, Newcastle, whatever, but that Wolves and Everton game, I'm realistically looking for 4 points from that. And that for me will make the biggest, will allow me to analyze how I think the rest of the season will go. Because if we can't pick up those points from those games, even though not to say that they're not deserving of winning either Wolves or Everton, but this is really in this key essential moment of pressure that we're under against those types of teams that are also not on top form, and especially Everton, like Ryan was saying, that they're really struggling. This is where we need to take advantage of it. And if we don't, it will speak more than words about the attitude within the team and within the squad. So got to pray for those 4 points.
I mean, just to add to that, when the league opened up after the World Cup, we were told that the Arsenal-Brentford Leeds, the 3 games, he needs to get 5 points, right? He got 1 point from that. One. So that's what I would add to that. And then...
Board don't care.
And they were saying things like... I don't know. Maybe they have. Well, look, it's obvious now. They haven't found a manager they want. They're just saying he's still the best one for us. So Ryan, just say whatever you want. Ryan, closing.
Well, I've got a question for both of you first. This was TalkSport, but Andy Goldstein asked this question. It's a scenario, obviously. Well, it probably won't happen, but it was: would you take, right? He was asking West Ham fans, going down and coming straight up if you won the FA Cup this season. So we'd be in the Championship for 1 year and we'd come straight back up.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would take that.
Yes.
It's been 1980, I think.
Yeah. Massively unlikely. I think.
Listen,
if we went down, we'd probably do a Sunderland. We'd probably go to League One after. But
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind one because it's football. It's still good football teams.
No joke, though,
yeah.
Champions
Still,
no joke anymore,
I don't think we come straight.
That's the thing.
Well, we could.
Champions not a joke.
But it'd be nice to be hopefully towards the top of the table. That'd be nice, and with a bit of luck, we might win the Championship, the title. That'll be nice. Yeah. Going up as champions. We haven't seen that either. We've always finished second or third. Yeah, I'll be up for that, mate. I'll be up for that. My closing comments are that I'll stick to my guns. I didn't enjoy today. I didn't enjoy the Leeds game. I haven't enjoyed my football in a year, long time. I want him out. Nothing personal. That's when I'll get excited. I naturally get excited by signings and when new managers come in. You know, when they have that first press conference holding the scarf up, that just gets me going, and then I'm back to loving football again. And I think he'll lift the players up. It shouldn't be that way, but it's just in a modern game. They're not going to do anything till the new one comes in. And the good thing of that is people like Antonio, Cressy, one or two others, Lanzini, they'll be gone in the summer. I don't think they'll be part of the plans of the new manager. We saw how quickly Arteta's changed Arsenal. Got rid of a lot of the old high earners, the lazy sods, the people that used to turn up late for training and people like that. And it can be done. Obviously, they're throwing a lot of money at the project, but hopefully that happens. But what's worrying me is that all these things about, Gold has passed away, the daughters have got the shares, common knowledge, they're not interested. Where's those shares going to go? Then there's stories of Kretensky. He's not in there to buy the club. He just wants a profit on what he's given in. Then he'll go. Then Gold's motivation is he wants to buy Cardiff. He wants to sell our club in the summer. So no one's thinking about on the pitch what we're worried about. So the fans, once again, no one's really thinking of us. You know, that's the things that I'm still worried about. So it's stressing me out and doing my head in. But very uncertain terms, gentlemen. We will just, all we can do is game by game, and let's see where we end up. But I really don't know where we're going to end up next week, next month, end of the season. I don't know. It's very uncertain, difficult times for West Ham. But thank you both for your time. We've gone 1.5 hours. Took a lot of your time. I hope we give some of your evening back. And thank you, everyone in the chat. Keep subscribing, keep watching, and we'll keep bringing you some good shows. So, have a great evening, lads. We'll catch up soon. Take care.
You too. See you later.
Take care.
Come on, you guys.
Come on, you guys.